Hi, everyone. This is Lori Ward. We're seeing the numbers climb. Everybody's signing in. Hold on just a few minutes. We have a lot of people joining us today. Just past 200. My wonderful park rangers. I'm so excited to introduce you all to them. While everybody's getting on, if you want to go to the chat box down below, see the chat box? Click on that. Take a moment, find it. If you're willing to share your dream position, your dream job, all you little people out there, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? Just enter some things for us. Share what you'd like to be when you grow up in the chat box. Firefighter, love it. Cowboy, right on. An author, lots of firefighters, teachers, park rangers, pilot. Wow, this is pretty cool. Look at all those answers. I love it. Sharon, you probably see we're at 312 who have loaded on. We're going to keep waiting. We have a few more minutes. You all see that picture on the screen, Take a Walk on the Wild Side? That's a great book. I bet a lot of you have read that. I bet you have copies. It's kind of fun. It's 11:59. We had 1,000 people sign up for this webinar. So we're approaching 400, so we're about halfway there. It'll take a few minutes, so everybody hold tight. Everyone's entering in the chat box what they want to be when they grow up. That's fun. Elliot wants to be a teacher, and Isaac's not quite sure yet. Oh, these are so adorable. A motocross driver, Casey, wants to be a motocross driver. Love that. Lars wants to be a paleontologist, and Aster wants to be a doctor. Right on. A Lego engineer. That's creative. We got a couple paleontologists. See some teachers. Zane wants to be a police officer. Lauren wants to be a singer. Lovely. We'd put you on screen, but we're short on time. Lumen wants to be a firefighter. Jonah wants to be a ski patroller. Love that. Let's go to some of the early answers. Jackson wants to be a firefighter. Christine Michael wants to be a marine biologist. That sounds so smart. Juniper in Chicago wants to be a ballet teacher. I love that, and that's a cool name. Wyatt wants to be a scientist. Love it. Sharon, we are at 436. You're probably seeing that. It's 12:02. I'm going to give it one more minute, and then we're going to dive in because we like to be on time. Solus wants to be a beekeeper. That's cool. Mackenzie wants to be a horse rider. Erica, a motorcycle rider. You should get in touch with the motocross person. I'm going to go ahead and dive in, everyone. We're about halfway. Like I've mentioned, we filled out. This is a very popular webinar. We're excited to go on this virtual field trip with all of you. We filled out at 1,000 participants from across the country. We heard from a lot of people, so it's very exciting. I'm Lori Ward. I'm CEO at Washington's National Park Fund. If you're wondering what that scene is behind me, that is indeed Mount Rainier. If you're not from Washington State, haven't been to Mount Rainier National Park, that's the beautiful mountain. We're lucky in that we get to support Mount Rainier, North Cascades, and Olympic National Parks. I'm going to be your host today, and you all are here to meet our incredible park rangers, Annie Runde, let's pull her on up, and Julie Gonzalez, my two buddies for the day. Give them a sec. There's Julie. We'll wait for Annie to pop on up. These two have they would say this themselves, they have the very best jobs in the world. They get to be up at Mount Rainier all summer long and through the winter, but really up at Paradise during the summer months especially. Let's see, Annie has a favorite book that she's going to share with us today, and it's titled If I Were a Park Ranger, which is really sweet. Hold on just a sec. Annie is there. There's Annie. Hey, Annie. There's the book. That's adorable. That's so cool. And that must be your son. Yes. So we're going to hear more from
this. This is Oliver.
Hey, Oliver, welcome. Nice hat, buddy.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Nice hat. That's a good book. We look forward to hearing from Annie, from your mom here shortly, okay?
Okay.
You're doing good. You're doing a really good job. So these folks, they're going to read to you today from the book, and Oliver's going to be a good little helper. Let's see. If you have questions while Annie is reading, If I Were a Park Ranger, go down to the Q&A box right down at the bottom of the screen. You see where that is, everybody? Go there and pop it open and enter your questions that you have about being a park ranger. When we're all done, Julie and Annie are going to answer some of the questions, as many as we are able to. So have fun with that. And for an added treat today, we're going to draw during the hour, the 45 minutes that we're together, we're going to draw 3 names and give those 3 people a copy of the book, If I Were a Ranger. So we'll be pulling those and then mailing that book off to the 3 lucky recipients. So let's meet our rangers. Annie, please tell us a little bit about yourself, if you would.
Hi, I'm Annie Runde. I'm a park ranger at Mount Rainier National Park. I've been there for about 5 years. And I'm an education ranger, which basically means I'm a teacher. And instead of teaching in a classroom, I teach at Mount Rainier. So I take kids on hikes and snowshoe walks. And it is the best job in the world.
That's great, Annie. Thank you very much. Julie, your turn. Share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Julie Gonzalez, and I am also an education ranger here at Mount Rainier National Park. Mount Rainier is in Washington State, and I am really curious to see how many of you are tuning in from other states. So use the chat function and tell us where you're tuning in from. And maybe looking outside right now, the weather is sunny and beautiful, but earlier it was raining and snowing up on the mountain, just like you see back here. So share with us, what does the weather look like where you are? Is it sunny, raining, windy, maybe? So as Annie said, we're education rangers, which means we normally take kids hiking and out in the park and teaching them about the park. But because we are also doing our part to stay at home, we are now transitioning and taking advantage of this awesome partnership with Washington National Park Fund and bringing our park to you at home from our home. So super excited that you are here today.
Thank you, Julie. We're excited to hear more from you in just a little bit. I appreciate it. So before Annie starts turning the first page with Oliver's help, we want to take a little poll. We want all of you to think about animals that you might see up at Mount Rainier National Park if you've been there. What animals might you see? And there's going to be a poll. See the poll popping up. Tell us what your favorite animal is on that list. Is the poll popping up there, Sharon?
I think so. We've
Okay.
had 2 people answer, maybe not.
Hold on just a sec, everybody. That's okay, we can come back to that.
Okay.
So with that, we'll come back to our poll. And you know what? You all are here today to dive into this adorable book. And so enough talking from us. We're going to turn it over to Annie and let her take it from here with the wonderful help from Oliver. Oliver, cool hat.
All right, are we ready? It looks like you all are from all over the country. I saw Florida and Illinois and Iowa and Washington, and there are national parks in every state. There's 419 around the country. And we're gonna explore some of those parks in this book. It's called If I Were a Park Ranger, and the author, the person who wrote it, is Catherine Stier, and the illustrator, the person who drew the pictures, is Patrick Corrigan. All right, Oliver, are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Imagine serving as a park ranger for our U.S. national parks. If I were a national park ranger, after going to college to study animals or science or education, I'd work for the National Park Service. I'd wear a special uniform, a hat, and a badge. Look at all those little park rangers. It looks like they're in the redwoods in California. If I were a national park ranger, I'd be a part of what historian William Stegner called America's best idea. I'd proudly continue the legacy begun by people who had a vision of preserving our country's most beautiful, historic, and unique areas. All of these pictures are people that have helped make national parks and helped the Park Service grow. Here's some, we're just gonna talk about a couple of them. We have Marjorie Stoneman Douglas over here. She helped create the Everglades. We have Gerard Baker, who was the first superintendent who brought Native American heritage and perspectives to parks. Superintendents are kind of like a principal at a park. They're the person in charge. And then over here, we have Captain Charles Young, who was the first African-American superintendent. So we've had lots of people who have helped make the Park Service what it is today. Some people hang pictures of pretty scenery on their office walls. But if I were a National Park Ranger, I would spend my workday in a place that was beautiful all on its own. If I were a National Park Ranger, I might work in the mountains. Oliver, what park is this one? Do you remember? Olympic
National Park.
In a cave? What park? What's that one?
Mammoth Cave.
Or near a volcano.
Hawaii volcano.
Like Hawaii volcanoes. Some parks are in the desert, like Saguaro National Park. Or at seashores, like Canaveral National Seashore. Here we go. Should we show them the national parks? Oh, there we go. All right. Maybe I'd work on a ship or at a battlefield, near the homeland of ancient people, like Mesa Verde, or at a famous national monument, like the Statue of Liberty. If I were a National Park Ranger, I would protect the land, the plants, the buildings, and the wild animals at my park. I'd protect animals in many ways. I'd make sure people didn't get too close to the animals or disturb their home. I'd make sure people didn't feed them or leave garbage that might make the animals sick. Let's go. Protected spaces such as national parks and national seashores serve as living outdoor labs. If I were a national park ranger, I might work with scientists to study the area's animals, plants, water, or soil. Or I could help with the discovery of fossils at my park. This is at Denali National Park, and it looks like we have some paleontologists in this picture looking for dinosaur fossils. There were a lot of kids in the audience that wanted to be paleontologists, it looked like, when I was looking at the poll. All right, you ready, Oliver? Okay, what's our next one? I'd help campers, hikers, sightseers, and other visitors learn about and enjoy my park. Did you know that millions of people visit national parks every year? I might greet guests at the visitor center or lead ranger hikes. I'd be a great storyteller. I'd learn about the science and the human histories and the legends of my parks. I'd even tell a few spooky campfire stories. We have a couple really special parks in this picture. We have Yosemite National Park and Petroglyph National Monument over here. Okay, Oliver, you ready? I know lots about the park's special places, plants, and wildlife. I'd even recognize the calls, tracks, and scat of most animals in my park, so I could answer any question, almost. I might take people on a tour, on foot, in a tram, or in a kayak. Or maybe I'd lead a tour on snowshoes, or by flashlight, or even by candlelight. Lots of different knowledge and interests could come in handy. I might dress up in old-fashioned clothes and portray someone from another time. We have Glacier National Park, and it looks like we have a ranger taking folks on a snowshoe walk, and that's what rangers do at Mount Rainier too, all winter long. That's how we get around. If I were a national park ranger, I'd always be on the lookout for fires or threatening weather. If I spotted trouble, I'd use my radio to report it to the emergency dispatcher. Then the other rangers and I would use our training and experience to keep everyone and everything safe as possible. But sometimes things still go wrong. Then I might be part of a search and rescue team that saves someone who is lost or in danger. It looks like we have a search and rescue at Death Valley in this picture in the desert. You have a face there? If I were a park ranger, I'd probably spend time outside, maybe lots of time outside, in all kinds of different weather. But park rangers work inside too. Some use computers to design exhibits, make maps, write articles, and keep track of endangered animal populations. Others update park websites with information and alerts about closed roads or other issues. Oliver, where do I usually work?
At Mount Rainier.
Yeah, but what about right now? Where do I always work?
Your old work?
No, right now, where have I been working?
On the computer.
Yeah, on the computer. Even rangers work on computers. If I were a national park ranger, I might leave my park to visit classrooms. I talk with students about the wonders of my workplace because our national parks belong to them too. If I were a national park ranger, my park would be cleaner and safer because of me. The animals living there would be stronger and healthier too. And maybe because of all I did, some visitors to my parks would experience something astonishing, a moment that could happen nowhere else in the world, a moment they'd remember forever. Then, like me, they'd want to take care of these special places too. We have the Grand Canyon in that picture. That's a really special place. So yeah, I think someday I just might be a national park ranger. Good job, Oliver. Nice job, Oliver. That is our book, but we want to spend some time now hearing from all of you and answering some of the great questions that you have, because I bet a lot of you have questions about the jobs that we looked at and talked about, because being a national park ranger is so fun, but there are 100 different jobs in national parks. So let's hear some of your questions. Julie's going to help us answer those.
Great. Great. Here we go, you guys. Great job. Great reading. Who's sneaking around the side? She's okay. You're muted. You're muted.
I realize, see, even millennials have technical difficulties. Hi, friends. Thank you so much for joining us for this, for reading this book. As you can see, there are all sorts of different types of park rangers and types of national parks and sites. And some of them are bigger, smaller, and have, they protect different things. Some of them protect animals and plants, and others protect stories. And here at Mount Rainier, we are one of those special places, a national park that protects everything under the sun. We have an amazing array of animals, all sorts of different animals, plants, fungus, insects. They all call Mount Rainier home. We are also a place that protects the stories and the history of people long before this was a national park, including a lot of Native American tribes. Like, for example, we have 6 different tribes that call Mount Rainier home at some point in history, including the Nisqually tribe, the Puyallup tribe, the Squaxin Island tribes, the Yakima Nation, Muckleshoot, and the Cowlitz tribe. So those are all people that have connections to Mount Rainier and to this land. And we also have some human history of people who have come and climbed this mountain, both in the past and today, and for the future. And one of the questions that we got here is, how tall is Mount Rainier? If you had to guess, I want you to take a guess to yourself, think to yourself, how tall is the mountain behind me? Okay, you have your guess. On the count of 3, I want you to shout it out. 1, 2, 3. Okay, some great answers there. I bet some of you might have guessed that Mount Rainier is 14,410 feet tall. That makes it the tallest mountain in the state of Washington and part of the tallest mountain in the Cascade Range. So it's a pretty tall mountain, and people come from all over the world to climb this mountain. In fact, we have 10,000 attempts to climb the mountain. So that doesn't mean 10,000 people. That means 10,000 times that people try to go up there every year. Raise your hand if you think you would like to climb Mount Rainier. Well, we've got some people. That's okay if you don't want to. There's plenty of other things to do, including seeing some wildlife. And Mount Rainier, like I said, is home to a lot of different animals, including, somebody asked if we have ever seen a mountain lion. I personally have not seen a mountain lion, and that makes me very sad because I would love to see them. They are actually a really hard animal to spot because they're really sneaky, and they love to come out at night and hunt at night. So they are predators. They are or carnivores, so they eat meat. And they are really good at being sneaky, and they stalk their prey. So that means they watch them from afar before they hunt. And they can jump up to 20 feet to get to their prey. So that's a challenge for you all. See if you can jump as far as a mountain lion. So you can jump 20 feet.
Julie, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, thanks. Aspen in Tacoma wants to know why rangers are called rangers.
Oh, that is a great question. And I might have to tap in my friend Ranger Annie to help me answer that question. Do you have any idea?
Because we range? I don't know. Because we walk around, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that's a really great question. Yeah.
Okay, got another one for you guys. Got another one. Does Rainier have avalanches? Does it ever have avalanches?
Yeah, Mount Rainier does have a lot of avalanches. Basically, to make an avalanche, you need a lot of snow and really steep slopes. And we have both of those things. A lot of them. Right now, we have 18 feet of snow on the ground at Paradise. And so we definitely have a lot of avalanches at Mount Rainier. And it's something that people are really careful about, and they learn a lot, and they do their research before they come. And they also take steps to be really careful in avalanche terrain, like bringing gear that they need.
Julie, what do you work on weekends?
Oh yeah, I saw that question. That's a great question. We do work on what you consider your weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, and it sometimes depends on the ranger that's working. But some rangers do work on Saturday and Sundays. That doesn't mean that we don't have any days off, though. We do get some days off, at least 2 days in the week. So don't worry, you'll get some weekends in.
Great. A lot of people, it sounds like a lot of the young people who are with us want to know about what kind of education do you have to become a park ranger, and what do you study?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I have a bachelor's in environmental science and geology. So I picked something to study that I really loved. I love to learn about the earth and the rocks on the earth. And so that's why I chose to go to school to become a geologist. I actually didn't know that I wanted to be a park ranger until later on. Different rangers have different schooling, and you don't have to go to school for a specific major or topic. My recommendation is to just pick something that you really love learning about. And I'm sure, like you saw in our book, we have all different types of jobs that you could use those majors for. So I know rangers who have studied history, they have studied drama and arts. Some of them are economists, or they studied to be economists and are now education rangers. So that you can just study something that you really love and that you would love to share with other people. Annie, can I ask you, what did you go to school for, to give them an example?
Sure. I went to school for anthropology and environmental studies, and then I got a second degree when I was a little bit older in earth science. So, yep, pretty similar to kind of what Julie had done too. So, yeah, but I think there are, like Julie said, a ton of different jobs. Anything that you can find in a city, you can find at a big national park. There's engineers, there's electricians and plumbers and carpenters. There's people that make sure that our facilities are clean. There's climbing rangers. There's all sorts of jobs at national parks, and they all kind of have different responsibilities and education and training that you need.
That's great. Hey, is Mount Rainier pretty snowy? It sure looks like it. How much snow does it get in a winter? Annie, let's throw that to you. How much snow in one winter?
On average, 54 feet in a winter. That's over the whole winter though. So at the end, like in the spring, a lot of times we'll have up to 20 feet sitting on the ground. So Paradise is actually one of the snowiest places on earth, which is really cool.
Amazing. And everyone who's watching here today, go to Mount Rainier National Park's website and check out the live cams. They have webcams and you can see what's going on. Look at that picture. You can see what's going on up at Paradise and different parts of the park all year long. And it's kind of fun to check it out. So keep that in mind. We want to know, how do you get a cool badge? Julie, how do you get the cool Ranger badge?
Yeah, everyone wants the cool shiny Ranger badge. And you know, it's actually very similar to those of you who have gotten a Junior Ranger badge. And we get our badge when we start our job. The very first day, we have to take a pledge. And the pledge basically says that we will do the best that we can to protect the plants and animals, the stories, and the national parks, to help and teach other people. And then they give us our badge and we get to wear it. But then the sad thing is, friends, that at the end of our job, if we ever leave, we have to give this badge back so that other Rangers can wear it. So for those of you who have Junior Ranger badges, like Oliver and Wilson, you are really lucky because you can keep your badges forever.
Thank you. I want to ask you, besides Mount Rainier, of course, what's your favorite national park in the country? And let's toss that. Julie, since you're on the screen, go ahead with that. What's your favorite national park besides Rainier?
Oh, that one's really hard. There are so many. There are over 400 national parks, and I'm lucky enough to have worked in quite a few. But I will have to say my favorite park is Glacier National Park in Montana.
Why? Tell us why.
Yeah, the reason is because it was my very first national park, not only that I worked at, but that I got to visit. And I didn't know what national parks were until I was in college. So this one was really special, and I learned that I really love to hike and to backcountry camp, but also I just enjoy the scenery, and it's a really great place for people who love geology like me.
That's cool. Annie, what's your favorite national park?
I also love Glacier. I was an intern there a long time ago. But Rocky Mountain is probably my other favorite national park. That was one that I spent a lot of time in when I was younger as well. So yeah.
Thank you. When I was probably 16 and went on a road trip with my family, like so many people do. And my first experience seeing snow in the mountains was at Rocky Mountain National Park. So it has very good memories. This one's kind of tricky, but have you had any scary experiences being a ranger, Julie?
Ooh, yeah, that is a great question. I think the scariest part about working here is that, or in places like Mount Rainier and Glacier National Park, is that the weather is really unpredictable. You can plan as far in advance as you can. You can look at the weather, but then when you're out there, the weather can change really rapidly. So I've had some encounters where I've started the day, it's beautiful and sunny, and then all of a sudden it's hailing or it's a blizzard. And so that's why it's really important to be prepared and carry those 10 essential items with you, so that even if you start off on a sunny day, you have things like a jacket and gloves and hats with you when you're out hiking.
Thank you. Hey, we're going to start to wrap up. And with that, we drew some names while you all were listening to the reading. And our friend Julie is going to read off the names of the winners. And we will ship these books off to you. So you'll need to let us know how to get them to you if your name's called. Julie, go ahead.
All right, friends. So this is really exciting. We hope that you enjoy the book. And for those of you who are lucky winners, let's give them all a drum roll. So can we all? All right, our first lucky winner for the book, If I Was a Park Ranger, is Arlen Ramirez.
Yay!
Yay! Arlen, let us know how we can, you can email us the email that you received through Zoom. You can just email that person and give us your address so that we can send you this book. All right, that's really exciting. I hope our next lucky winner is Cassidy Yoakum. Yay! Everyone show me some jazz hands. We're all excited for Cassidy. Thank you for tuning in, Cassidy. You are lucky winner number 2. And last but definitely not least, our lucky winner number 3 is Neva Manish. Yay, Neva! We're so excited. So thank you so much. We hope that you all enjoyed this book. And now these 3 lucky winners will have a copy and you can read it as many times as you like. So again, let us know. Send us that reply email with your address and how we can get these books to you.
Nice job. Thanks, Julie. So everyone, to learn more, go to WNPF.org. The address is on your screen. If you want to show support, send $1, send $10, send $100. We're really excited about the turnout of these virtual field trips and want you to keep coming along with us. Next week, we'll be hearing more from a deputy superintendent who is second in command at Mount Rainier National Park. She's a great storyteller. She has 2 young children herself, so I know you'll be entertained. We want to thank you. We're all set here now and looking forward to when spring and summer come, when we all can get back out into our favorite national parks, Mount Rainier, North Cascades, and Olympic National Parks. And when you're at Rainier, look for Julie and look for Annie, and be sure to say hi and participate in the Junior Ranger program. Thanks everyone for joining us. This is recorded. It will be up on our website tomorrow. So, and just huge thanks to our reader today, Annie Runde and Julie, right alongside. We really appreciate you guys. Everybody have a great afternoon, and thanks again for joining us.